So have you ever cleaned up your room by like shoving things in the closet, or like shoving all your clothes in the toy box if you still have a toy box? I remember I used to do that. Or you cleaned up your room by just making a path to your bed. I remember doing that so many times, just making a little path to my bed. And then my parents would say, "That's not cleaning your room." And I'd say, "Well, I can see the floor. It's clean enough." And so that's one. Have you ever had, some of us, the cleanest of us, probably have some things, a thing or two stashed away, like somewhere else that is not supposed to be. And we all kind of hide some things underneath the bed. So just short question. What are some of the things you have like hidden under your bed?
My bed's on the floor.
Your bed's on the floor. So okay, in your closet, hidden away in your closet, or in a drawer.
We hide. I shouldn't say that. Because everyone hides money, so I was like, where it is. I can't say where it's located on his.
We hide money in our shoes. There we go. We'll throw you off.
Money in our shoes.
No. Anybody hide anything? You guys have perfect rooms that you don't hide anything in?
Morgan has all her old stuff down.
Okay.
I don't have no room in my bed. You want to sit on my bed. And then like,
Can't fit anything under our bed.
Huh. Okay, so no one actually hides anything.
Lots of dust.
We have lots of dog hair. And sometimes dog toys. Yeah. So the point of shoving stuff under your bed or shoving stuff in your closet or in your drawers is so that you can get it out of sight. Like, you think that it's out of sight, and so it's not actually there. So whenever you have people over, they think your room is clean because nothing is there to be seen. And it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and it's not there. And hiding is something that we're actually going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about things that you hide in your life and how all that stuff that we hide in our lives, that we try to hide, and how it can affect and how sometimes it can come out, and that we don't want people to know about that stuff that we're hiding. You might be thinking that in your life that you're not hiding anything. Like, you're honest, that if we're all honest, that we all have these little secrets or these little areas in our life that we don't want people to know about, that we have a little tucked away that we want to cover up a little bit. Maybe you're hiding that bad test grade from your parents so that they don't go off on you and you're not grounded and you still have your phone. Or maybe you're stashing away the fact that you talked bad about your friend behind their back. Or maybe you're hiding the fact that you need to share something with a trusted adult so that you can get it off your chest. I don't know what it is for you, but what I do know is that we all try to hide some things. We all try to hide things in our lives, things that make us feel insecure, some of the difficulties in our lives, or some of the differences, or some of our failures. We all try to hide some of those things. We try to keep those in the darkness. They're the mistakes that we make, the doubts, the regrets. They're those things that we try to keep tucked away in a corner so that no one else can find out about them. And trust me, I get it. Hiding and faking things makes a lot of sense. In fact, sometimes it seems like we could fake our way through lives and be happier in it. Sometimes it seems like if we hide these things that they'll just go away. And that it's normal. And that if the messiness like our rooms, if we just hide it, that it's not there anymore. And that we won't get embarrassed or we won't get ashamed or it won't make us feel guilty anymore. And sometimes we feel like if we just put it in that dark corner, that we won't ever have to have anyone else know about it or even care about it at all. And like I said, I get it. I also know, though, that that doesn't work in our lives. I'm sure you've seen it for yourself. Because hiding actually makes us feel a little bit worse, doesn't it? First of all, it leaves us lonely. carrying something that you don't tell anybody makes us feel like no one else can know. That like we're separate and we can't be comfortable because we don't want someone else to find out. And hiding can make us feel guilty. The things that are hid, they remind us of how we messed up, or ways that we've done things wrong, or things that are not right in our lives. Hiding things in our lives make us feel a little bit fake. That make us feel a little bit trapped. And we feel like we're liars because the people around us don't know what we're going through. And they make us feel trapped because things that stay in the dark never go away. They actually kind of grow and they fester and they get a little bit bigger. It's kind of like for you guys, I don't know if you've experienced this, but whenever you put your gym clothes in your gym bag, right, or your backpack, if you carry them in your backpack, things get in there and they get a little bit sweaty, and then you pile them on, and eventually you start to take things out, and you get your old tennis shoes out, and you get your shorts that are all smelly and sweaty, and I promise I don't have underwear in here. It's okay. You get your socks that I actually wore yesterday and ran in, and then gloves and hat, and then maybe you find some water, and which is weird that I have water in the bag. And it's still, things get just thrown in there. Like your life just gets totally thrown in there. You think that you can just throw everything in there and it will be okay. You'll throw things like sunglasses, running sunglasses, and things to help you be clean, like Germex, because I just touched a whole bunch of sweaty, nasty stuff. And whenever it's all shoved in your backpack, the clothes just get a little bit smellier, and they get a little bit smellier, and then they never get clean. They get a little grosser, and they get more and more gross over time. And the same... Yes.
Where'd you get that bottle of water from?
I got it from the run yesterday that I did.
Water man.
Yeah, from the water man. But I'm so lost.
Got him off, man.
So the gym clothes in our life are a lot like the insecurities in our lives, right? We think that we could just throw things in and just hide them. Like we think that if we just open up our backpack and throw our gym clothes at the bottom, they don't actually exist sometimes. And our life is the same. What about the regrets in our life? When you shove something down into the darkness in your life and tell no one about it, does it disappear? No, it doesn't. It doesn't go away. It's still there. And when I struggle with the temptation, whenever I throw it into the darkness and I no longer try to think about it, does it go away? No. It actually makes us sometimes think more about it because we try to make no one else know about it, so then we think about it all the time. And in fact, that temptation gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And see, that's the problem we have with darkness. It might hide our secrets, and it might make us feel good for a little bit, but it doesn't make our secrets go away. Darkness never solves anything. And it doesn't whenever it's underneath in our lives. But God sees a different strategy for our life. God sees a strategy that can actually help us be free and released from the darkness. The Bible, very back in the beginning of the early church, was written, parts of it was written by this guy named Paul. We've talked about Paul a little bit. Paul was Saul, and then he became Paul on a journey to another city. And Paul wrote half the New Testament, and so whenever he's writing to the New Testament churches, one of them was struggling with temptation, and he said this in Ephesians 5:8, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light." Paul gives us a before and after scenario. Before you accept Christ, before you have Christ in your life, you are in darkness. You have things that are hidden. You have things that are not there in your life that like you try for other people to not know of. But then, Paul said, because of Jesus, we're now people who live in the light. Things we once shoved into the darkness and out of sight of everybody else, they're brought back into the light, and they're forgiven of us. Remember these old stinky gym clothes or running clothes in my case? God brings those out into the light, and they're nothing in comparison to some of the things we personally struggle with. They're nothing in comparison to those regrets, to those shames, to those things that we struggle with in our lives. But those darkest secrets, those biggest regrets, those are harder to clean up than just dirty gym clothes. We can't just throw those in the washer. But the point remains the same. When we hide these things and they come out to the light, things change. The filth and the stench and the stink and the darkness, they all go away. That's why Jesus came into this world, to bring us light. Jesus came in this world for us to have light, and when you live in the light, when you live with Jesus, it changes your life. Living in darkness leaves us lonely, but living in the light lets us walk in life with other people. Living in darkness makes us feel guilty, but coming to the light allows us to experience forgiveness. Living in the darkness makes us feel fake, but walking in the light allows us to be who we really are. Living in the darkness makes our mistakes and our struggles linger and grow and be strong in our life. But coming into the light means that they can be dealt with. And they can be forgiven by Jesus. Not for just now, but forever. That's what grace is about. That's what Jesus is about. Bringing us light into our lives. That's why He came. Now that doesn't mean that whenever we come to the light that we can just do whatever we want. That doesn't mean that we're going to get forgiveness no matter what for whatever we want. That doesn't mean we can walk around in life and do things just to do them because we think we're in the light. That means that we change the way we act. That means that we are the light to other people. That means that our behaviors and actions, they affect the way that we live. And that Jesus now changes the way that we live so that others can see the light in our lives. That they can bring themselves out of the darkness and into the light as well. And it's not always going to be easy. In fact, living in life can actually be a little bit hard. It's a little bit scarier at times because we are staying at a risk of people finding out things about us. Showing our true selves to other people means that we have to be vulnerable. And that's a risk we have to take. But Paul challenged us to stop hiding because he knew this truth. The way that you find freedom is to stop hiding. I'm going to say it again. The way that you find freedom is to stop hiding. And living in freedom means living a better life. So what does living in the light exactly look like in your life? This is the scary part. Coming into the light means that you show the things that are hidden in the dark parts of your life with someone else. It's pulling all of these gym clothes, all this stinky, smelly stuff in your life, it's pulling it out so that other people can see and so that someone else can help you through that. So that someone else can help you clean those stinky, smelly clothes in your life. I promise you though, it's worth it. It might be a little bit scary at first, letting other people into your life to know exactly what's going on, what you struggle with, what you're tempted with in your life, but it's worth it. It'll break the loneliness away. It'll break the guilt away. It'll break the pretending that we always have to be perfect away and allow us to come out of the darkness. This is what I want you to remember though. The way that you find freedom is to stop hiding. You'll only be free whenever you come into the light. Whenever you accept Jesus, whenever you come into the light and let Jesus have all your dark and dirty clothes and have those dark corners in your life. That's when you'll be set free. You'll step into the light with someone else. This week, I want you to choose one person that you're going to be courageous with and that you're going to be honest with about those things in your life. Whether that be a mentor, a parent, your small group leader, or a friend, I want you guys to choose one person. Tell them those things that you struggle with in your life. Those things that you think that are in the darkness, and bring them to the light so that you don't have to struggle with them anymore. And that someone else can help you with those things. Why? Because just like the way we have to take out our gym clothes and get them all clean, we have to take those things out of the darkness in our lives. And we have to bring them to light so that Jesus can clean them in our lives. Let's pray. God, I thank you so much because you have sent your Son so that we can bring all of our dirty and messed up lives and bring them into the light because of Him. And that because of Him, we can be with you. God, thank you. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. You guys are going to break into small groups, and as you break into small groups, I want you guys to think about this question. What's one thing that you have been hiding that you need to talk to someone else about? So you guys can go into group now.